Hello and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School Bears Wrestling. Hi, I'm Scott White alongside Bob Cancro, and tonight the East Brunswick Bears host the South River Rams. Bob, this is a match with a great deal of history. What can we expect tonight?
Well, this is the backyard brawl. It's Michigan, Ohio State, Florida, Florida State, and in some cases maybe it's the Hatfields and the McCoys. The Battle of the Old Bridge Turnpike, as you might call it, is always one where you have fans coming out in force from both sides. You've got an excellent tradition in South River. We can go back at least 20 years when Kerry Sinclair was the head coach over there, and you had the Buzzies wrestling for them, and Louis Trigar and kids like that. But they've been picked up and followed very nicely by youngsters like Tommy Noto, who's a county champion this year, and along with the 5 other county champs that South River brought with them. Winning the GMC tournament last weekend was quite a plus for South River. They now have back-to-back county titles, Blue Division titles here in the GMC, and Ed Schicke's 16-1 Rams are really quite a force for the Bears to face tonight.
There you have it. It's East Brunswick at 6-4, South River at 16-1. We'll be back with the senior night presentation in just a moment. And welcome back to senior night, just before the matchup here between East Brunswick and South River. And right outside the mat, you see Eric Bellis, accompanied by his parents, John and Dorothy Bellis. Bob, this is, I guess, a tradition they do here at East Brunswick High School, the last home match, the seniors being recognized.
Well, they've been doing this, I guess, in many of the sports. I think it's done more so, say, in the fall with the football, as we see Adam Greenhut and his dad, Victor, going out there. But I think it's extended to the other sports, which is really a nice gesture because all of these kids have put in many cases, years of work for the Bears. Josh Jabin going out there, and his dad and mom, Arnold and Michelle Jabin. Josh heading off July 1st for the Naval Academy.
For some of these wrestlers, potentially, actually, it is the last time they'll be wrestling here at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, and some of them wrapping up their careers. Some will go on and play at the wrestle at the collegiate level, but some, this is probably the end of the road.
It's questionable how many. Frank joins right there as his mom Dolores, getting the flowers from him. Ross Krasnow going out. Again, moving up to that next level is a big step. And right now, I'm not even sure that somebody like an Eric Bellis is going to be wrestling when he goes to Penn State in the fall. So it's really a question whether or not these guys will go on. Some of them might as a walk-on. You see Ross Lesnick there. He and Ross Krasnow are 2 options tonight for the Bears at 171. There's Scott Munns meeting up with his mom. And his dad is usually here. Usually see him in there taking the videotaping on the sideline. And the final senior, Andrew Tanchek, who will probably be in the lineup tonight at 140 pounds. And his mom and dad, Michelle and Andrew. And
there you see the 8 seniors on the squad, 8 seniors being recognized for their time they spent here at East Brunswick High School wrestling, and accompanied by their parents. As the camera pans out, you can see there's a very large crowd, and we're anticipating an exciting matchup ahead of us. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back, it's East Brunswick and South River. Welcome to East Brunswick High School Gymnasium. It's East Brunswick versus South River. On the mat at 103, we have Scott Munns, a senior at 16-4, and Tom Noto, for South River at 20-1. He's a sophomore. Bob, very experienced wrestlers early on.
They are 2 excellent wrestlers. Tommy Noto, just a sophomore. His brother Chris, also a wrestler in front of him, who graduated last year from South River. But Tommy just finished up this past weekend as the GMC tournament champion at 103 pounds, which is quite a performance for a sophomore.
Did these 2 meet in the GMC tournament?
They did not. Scott ended up as a 3rd-place finisher, and they just were in different brackets as they went through the tournament. They were not together, and there's 2 points for Tommy Noto on the takedown on the far side.
South River with the first 2 points of the evening, 2-0 South River in this first bout, the 103-pound bout. Now you see Scott Munn starting in the down position.
Yeah, in the GMC tournament, they were in opposite brackets. Scott was seeded number 4, Tommy Noto seeded number 2 in the tournament. As Scott tries to come around, taken back to the mat by Tom. Has his leg scissored there, split. Tommy Noto has worked a lot with former East Brunswick wrestler Gene Lazark. Gene was an excellent wrestler here. He's also working with the rec program here in town, but there's nothing that can compare with that one-on-one time that you get. And Gino has worked rather extensively with Tommy and a number of other kids. as I'm keeping my score here, a 2-0.
1:11 remaining in this first period. This the first bout once again, the 103 pound, and we have a caution, I think, going against Tom Noto.
That's a caution called by Ed Glassheim. We have 2 officials on the mat tonight. This is something that's always been in the book, or it's been in the book for many years, but a lot of schools have not done it. But when you get really tight matches and real tense situations, you certainly have a big crowd and a big match for both teams tonight. It's nice to have that second official, especially when you get on a circle like that. You're making calls that can be tough to make. You've got a backup and someone to consult with as you go to make that call or not. The other official is Ken Burnaby, and both of these fellows have been around for many years and have worked the states. So you have some top-notch officials on the mat tonight.
Now, is one official the lead or main responsible official?
Well, I'm not sure how they'll work it tonight. I know in the counties they had 2 officials as Tommy tries to take him over the bar, that loses the bar, and Scott trying to get wrist control there. Tom's also got that one leg hooked. Trying to tilt him up, and he's looking. He has not got him past perpendicular. You can see Ed Glassheim signaling that. He's up and down. He hasn't gotten the points. Working for the cradle, which again is something that South River will do. Scott's still fighting and has not given up any points.
Still only 2 points on the original takedown.
And 15 seconds. They're going to call a warning for Scott, against Scott Munns for stalling, that he was not doing anything to improve his position, just to defend himself. We were starting to say about the 2 officials. In the GMCs over the weekend, they had 2 officials for most of the second day's rounds, which would have been the semifinals on. And what they did was alternate back and forth. They'd have 2 officials working in pairs for the finals. One would be the lead official, and the other would be the assistant. And what they may do here, I'm not sure. It's really an option. Doesn't quite make it out there. Had he stood up, he would have had the point there. But the first period ends with a 2-0 lead for Tom Noto. They may go back and forth every other match. Burnaby, Glassheim taking choices. The deferment.
Noto deferring to Munns. Munns will select the down position. Looking for his first points of the evening. Still 2-0 your scoreless. The first bout, East Brunswick versus South River here at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium.
We have a nice crowd, as you were saying before, Scott. Before the night's over, we could have almost a full house. In fact, it looks like we're kind of overloaded on some of the sections, so we really may have a really good crowd. 50-50 should be pretty good tonight. Tommy Noto's a sophomore, but he wrestles well above that age. He's physically not a small kid. He's solid. You can see the definition in his arms. Does a nice job out there of controlling on the top.
Someone like Tommy, who's only a sophomore and already capturing the GMC championship, what sort of track is this wrestler on?
He's on a track to do real well, and there's no telling how far he could go. You don't want to say too much about any kid because, you know, injuries and the like could occur. But Tommy Noto, first of all, he's made a commitment. There's no question there. He's small at 103 pounds. He's not going to grow too large. It's not like some kids who may grow out of their best weight. Noto trying to get that front headlock and work it around. Again, headlocks, something that South River also does. A shrug there does not work. They come back to their feet. And a shot by Scott Munns as they get close to the edge and go out of bounds.
Scott did pick up a point on an escape earlier, so it's 2-1 now, with Tommy Noto still leading.
But with his size, Tommy Noto could really stay at 103, 112. You know, his brother, I'm not sure exactly, he was a smaller wrestler, lighter weight too. I don't think he was much more than 125, if I'm not mistaken. Scott trying to defend himself. He's on his tail there, trying to lift that leg across. They're still in a neutral position. Noto does not have control yet. He's got his hands locked through the crotch there. And if he can hang on to that, they may come up with a stalemate unless Tom can lift that a little bit and move up. Neither wrestler in great shape here. 40 seconds remaining in the period. And you've got both officials taking a good look at this and trying to make a determination of where to go.
Appears as if they both just stopped, waiting for the stalemate. And there's the 2 points on the takedowns. So that'll extend the South River lead 4-1.
So from the standpoint of Tom Noto, certainly nothing good would have come if they called that stalemate. And they go out of bounds with 17 seconds remaining in the 103-pound weight class. Scott Munns of East Brunswick, 16-4 against Tom Noto, 20-1.
We saw senior night earlier. Scott Munn's a senior. This will be the last time he's going to wrestle in East Brunswick High School Gymnasium.
Yeah, you know, I wonder if kids really understand what that means. You know, that last time out, Scott having a cross-body ride put on him by Tommy Noto. He's trying to work that far arm and pull him back and go to a guillotine, but that will be the end of the period, and the choice will be Tom Noto's.
Choose the neutral position. Tom Noto leading this first round, or this first bout, 4-1.
He has gotten 2 takedowns already, so you know, certainly a confident enough situation to be on his feet one more time. They are in a full tie-up, a shrug, drop to a single, and we've got another takedown. Tom Noto working very nicely on his feet.
Extend his lead 6-1.
Good control, hooks that leg in the back. Again, you know, sometimes we talk about young wrestlers watching these things and what you can learn from it. Tom Noto riding back behind the man where he should be, hooking that leg to maintain some control. He's trying to get the tilt in there with the bar as they go out of bounds.
Scott doing a good job so far this evening, holding off the tilt and the back points. The only 6 points that Tom has accumulated are all on takedowns.
He is getting the signal to give the alternate start and to release Scott Munns, to cut him for 1 point, give him the escape, and go back on his feet again, because at this point, he's looking for the major decision. He certainly hasn't been able to get those takedowns easily enough on Scott, and at this point, wrestling very confidently.
With the 6-2 score, what does he need now for the major decision?
Well, he's going to have to pick up another 6 points. Let me rephrase that. He's got a 4-point lead right now. He needs another 4. I say 6 because they're going to be going back and forth a couple times. Because he's going to have to give Scott another escape somewhere along the line in order to get the takedown again. But they've got to work quickly. And at this point, Scott, not quite desperate, but he certainly has to get some points back by shooting. And he's got the single, but very long body does Scott Munns have, and a little more compact and strength-wise, definitely in Tommy Noto's advantage. And he gets the takedown going behind. 50 seconds remaining in that crab ride. He got a count there of 1, but no points. And they go out.
That'll open up the lead 8-2 now for South River.
They're signaling Ed Chicky over on the sidelines, and you know, I just forgot which one of the Buzzies is the assistant coach right now. Signaling, give him the 1 point again and go for the takedown. He's got 6 points now. He'll go to an 8-3 lead on 5. He's going to have to take him down. It's going to be a couple back and forth there.
And it looks like injury time now, I guess.
Could be blood. Could be blood. I'm not sure. But it's definitely against Scott Munns, and so the time is going to go over on his side, or maybe just blow his nose.
42 seconds remaining in this first bout, and Bob, later on, something like this early bout could really come back and be an important one.
Yeah, you know, there are a couple of matches in the middle weight classes where neither team has super outstanding kids, and it's an opportunity where either team can pick up some points there. So if you can establish yourself early, that does give you that early jump. And certainly right now, Tom Noto was doing that for the Rams, as they give the escape, and he's going to go for 2 more points.
8-3 now the score. South River, and Tom Noto still in control of this first bout.
He's putting pressure down on Munns' head, keeping him down. As any wrestler can tell you, if they've been around long enough, you don't want your head down low, you don't want your head down on the mat. He's shooting in there, he's got the double. Scott trying to defend. Not a good position for Scott Munns to be in. He's got the takedown.
12 seconds remaining.
And unless he can turn him very quickly, he's going to only have a 7-point lead. If he can get a quick tilt, they roll right through him.
Is that it? And that's it. 10-3, your final score. Tom Noto getting the first decision for South River. That'll give South River the early 3-0 lead. Scott Munns with the loss, and that's the last time he'll wrestle here as a senior.
Yeah, nice match, though, by Tommy Noto. Certainly took control early on with the original takedown. And really just, you know, Scott's a good wrestler, but in that particular match, really overmatched.
Tom Noto garnering all 10 points on takedowns.
Yes, sir. It brings us to 112. Phil Leota, junior for East Brunswick, against Rich Vieira, a freshman for the Rams.
Leota at 16-5, Vieira with an 11-10 record.
There were a number of freshmen in the South River lineup. As I was talking to the manager before getting some information, Rich Vieira, a freshman, Travis Peck at 119, a freshman, Mike Ashatino, who's at 130, and he may be moved around. We're not quite sure where he's going to be tonight. Another freshman in the lineup. So we talked. We had a match together earlier against Edison, And we mentioned the fact that East Brunswick was wrestling 2 freshmen in their starting lineup. The Rams also have a couple in there as well.
That bodes well for a program that's 16-1 and still has the development right in their starting lineup.
They've done a nice program, have a nice program right now in South River, and we can talk a little bit more about that later on. Philly with a trying to get that cradle, and he gets around.
Leota with the first 2 on the takedown.
Yeah, and as if we can get a pan back shot maybe later on, you can see Ken Burnaby is the lead official on this match. So they'll be going back and forth. Eddie Glesson having the odd bouts and Ken Burnaby running the even bouts. Phil Leota 16-5, half of the brother combination on the East Brunswick lineup, and the brothers are also working over on the other side as well. I mentioned that Tom Noto, his brother Chris, was a wrestler last year, graduated, but they also have the Youngs coming through, Joe Young and Bobby Young, both wrestling for South River in their lineup tonight.
We have a stalemate. Leota will assume the top position now. He's leading 2-0 on the first takedown. 48 seconds remaining in this first period.
At this point, Phil Leota has to come up with a win. I mean, you say it's early in the match, but the pressure really is there because you don't want to have too big a lead against you. You have 6 county champions facing you on the other side if you're East Brunswick. And, you realize those guys are going to give you tough matches. And in some cases, they're going up against some of your strength as well. So the point is here where you can put a good wrestler such as Phil against the kid who's maybe not quite as experienced, although Vieira has 21 matches under his belt this year. You want to make sure that you can pick up a win here. This is a situation where the Bears have to score.
Also, Bob, a crowd of this magnitude could really become an element as the match progresses, and neither team really would want to pull the crowd in entirely or lose the crowd advantage.
Yeah, well, you have a home crowd. Well, it's
tough to say.
Hard to say it's a home crowd because it's almost split evenly between Ram fans and Bear fans out here. You really, as we said, they're going to call a warning on Phil Leota. Ken Burnaby wants some action out there, and he's not going to let Phil ride him. He wants to see some movement. He's going to have to come outside, work for a pinning combination or at least some kind of a scoring opportunity, whether it's a tilt or some other kind of a combination.
Vieira trying to get the escape. Leota will take him back down to the mat.
And period will come to a close.
2-0 on the first takedown, the only takedown by Phil Leota.
Choice is East Brunswick, as you can see Ken Burnaby signaling over that way. And the choice will be down for Phil Leota. You have 2 schools who are saying they're so close. I mean, the people from South River have always been supportive of the wrestling, as people in East Brunswick have. And on a match like this, you're going to get a nice crowd. It's a Friday night. The weather isn't too bad. It cleared up from that minor snowfall we had earlier. Vieira in the tilt, but he's not going to give him anything on that one. Back and forth, no points. Phil comes up to his feet. He's going to try to peel a little bit. He's getting knocked over when he comes down to the mat and uprighted, but not enough for any points.
Go out of bounds and right back to their same starting position. Leota in the down position. This is the second period of the 112-pound bout. 1 minute, 32 seconds remaining in this period.
Phil Leota finished 3rd in the GMCs, which may have been a little disappointing. He might have wanted to go a little further, but that's not bad for a junior and certainly a good finish. On a switch, trying to come around, and he does.
That'll give him 2 and extend his lead 4-0.
Good extension by Phil on that switch coming around. Phil was seated 3rd in the counties, and so finished up at 3rd, which says something for the coach's decision-making process.
Worked out
Put
well.
him in the right spot. 4-0 was the score with just a minute left in the second period. Phil's going to have to work that a little bit harder. Ken Burnaby was critical that he wasn't working for the fall. He's going to have to work outside a little bit and come off the tail of Rich Vieira and break him down. He's going to give him the 1 as he just stepped back. He's gotten a takedown and a reversal. And Phil may feel that he can do the same thing that Tom Noto did in the 103-pound match, and that is get the points off his feet.
Vieira with his first point, 1 on the escape, 4-1's your score.
Tried to post him up there and perhaps go for a duck under or even a head and arm. Certainly on the recreation level, the head and arm is something, or the headlock is something that South River kids have used extensively and very successfully. Trying to drop down, Phil with the front headlock himself. A sit through there on a sort of a barrel roll by Vieira, but they go out of bounds with no exchange. And 14 seconds remaining.
Neither wrestler really establishing themselves in this match. It's really anybody's match.
No, they're bouncing back and forth a little bit. They both had a couple of good shots. Philly in there on a double, but he can't quite finish it, although there he does drop him.
He'll get the 2 on the takedown and extend his lead 6-1 with 1 second remaining. That'll do it for the second period. 6-1 your score. Phil Liotta on top of Rich Vieira as we head into the third period of the 112-pound bout.
Vieira has choice, and he's going to take the bottom. And as we've discussed in our other contest on Channel 8 here, the points are easier to score certainly from the bottom, coming up either for an escape or a reversal. And Phil was going to give him the 1. He took the optional start and gave Vieira the escape, making it a 6-2 contest right now.
As you predicted, Liotta following in, I guess, the pattern set out by Tom Noto to give him the 1 and then trying to get the 2 points on the takedown.
Working with that front headlock again, trying to reach for the leg and perhaps get into a cradle situation. Vieira coming out very nicely there and recovering. Now Phil's been warned on stalling. He shoots in for the single and he's got the angle, comes outside, lifts that leg up. Treetop in a trip, and he gets the takedown. That was nice.
He'll extend his lead 8-2 now, 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining in this third and final period.
Good penetration on that single. He got the angle, came outside, lifted it, and took him down under control. Right now, an 8-2 lead. That's a 6-point differential with 107, and so the question will be, will Gwen Pazinkel tell him to give him the 1, and he does. I saw him signal the diamond or the triangle, give him the 1 point, and go for the takedown again.
Following exactly like the first bout, the 103-pound bout. Phil Liotta with 8 points and all 8 coming off takedowns.
Give him the 1.
8-3 now your score.
Phil has just under a minute in the third period. And at this point, you know, we're saying not too long ago, it was a toss-up where we're going with this, but Phil has established a certain amount of control here against Rick Vieira, but they go out of bounds and they're not going to give him the points. They're neutral still. But a good move by Phil. You just got to watch where he is in the circle.
8-3, 45 seconds remaining. East Brunswick looking for possibly their first team points. This is only the second bout, but South River with the first points of the evening. Tom Noto with a decision over Scott Munns to pick up 3 team points.
This is one that they're going to want. The Bears are going to want. At 119, you have 2 freshmen going out of the mat. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the 119-pound match. 35 seconds remaining. Phil again in on the single. Counter by Vieira. Phil's if he can bring him inside, they're right on the circle there. He lost it the last time. Switches to the double, lifts it and turns it. Still no control. He's got the leg on the far side there, does Vieira, and he brings him up for a takedown.
Just in time before they go out of bounds. That time he'll get the 2 and extend his lead 10-3 now with 14 seconds remaining in this bout.
Now the question is, do they try one more time? You know, it's 14 seconds, give him a point, try to take down quick again. Can he do it? He's going to, yes, he is.
It's going to have to be a quick strike.
There's really nothing to lose at this point.
And there it is.
He gave him the 1. And if he can step and lift it, he's got to lift that. It does not get it. Does not get it.
Doesn't get it, and that'll finish the 112-pound weight category. Phil Liotta with the 10-4 decision over Rich Vieira, and that'll tie the team score 3-3.
Almost a duplicate. As Phil shot right back in there. He gave him the 1 and shot in for the 2. And Vieira just held onto the leg. It looked like he was holding onto the leg on the far side, which prevented Ken Burnaby from giving the 2. And you can, well, just now as we were looking up at the East Brunswick bench, Burnaby and Glassheim conferring back and forth about what they were seeing there, and Eddie Glassheim agreeing that no, there was no control there on the takedown.
A couple seconds away from the takedown. Now at 119, as you alluded to, 2 freshmen. Chris Iannazzo for East Brunswick at 7-9. Travis Peck, a freshman for South River at 9-8.
You know, 2 freshmen, just about 500 on their records. So this should be an interesting contest. Now, this could just be a matter of who's had the opportunity perhaps to work with some more quality wrestlers around them. Certainly the South River Rams have had a tremendous year, and just about everybody in their lineup makes the, you know, half their lineup almost made the county finals. But Chris also wrestling with a couple of good kids, certainly working out with Phil Liotta back and forth, and Scott Munns in his lineup. We'll see who's picked up more points in the room. Drops in on a single and posts it and tries to get the angle. He's got to release that arm and come around, and he does get the takedown.
Bob, when these teams are warming up, I know you were alluding to the fact that, as in any wrestling match, enthusiasm, excitement, the whole mental attitude is important. And as we saw East Brunswick come out and warm up, they came in with a lot of enthusiasm. And I guess something like that could trickle into a real close bout like this.
Well, you really hope that the kids will pick up on that. Here's Chris Yanazzo, who's a freshman. He really hasn't had the experience of the South River East Brunswick rivalry that some of the other kids have had. Certainly the last 2 years, 2 years ago when in this very gym, South River won against East Brunswick for the first time in many years. And last year over in South River, the Bears went over there and tied South River. They were just about on their way to a perfect season. And the Bears, who were so-so, a 500 team, went in there and came out with a 30-30 draw. You know, Chris and Travis may not realize what this really means to these two towns, but it really is a big matchup. And you know, how much of that enthusiasm, the Bears did the little Vision Quest thing, circling the mat and pounding on it and jumping over each other as they came around, psyched them up. They did the same thing last year at South River, and it certainly worked there. So we'll see what comes of it tonight.
Only Chris, 2 points scored in this 119-pound weight category. Those points are towards Chris Yanazzo on the takedown. He's still in control. 10 seconds remaining in this first period.
He's on top. He had that spiral ride there. I'm not sure what he was trying there, but he gave up the reversal, and just about the end of the period.
That'll tie it 2-2 as we head into the second period.
Came out a little high and probably just did not have enough control down there, and a nice recovery by Travis Peck. I said Vieira before, Travis Peck. The choice is Peck's, and I believe he deferred. I'm not sure what they're talking about to...
for Yanazzo to make the decision. Looks like Yanazzo is going to opt for the down position.
Chris in the defense. 2-2 is the score at the beginning of the second period at 119 pounds. Now for the Bears, who don't have those dominating wrestlers that the South River Rams have throughout the lineup, this is a big match. Chris has had a pretty decent year for a freshman, 7-9, and it really is a matter of who's going to guts it out and pull this one out of the fire. If the Bears can come up with a win here, not that it's unexpected, but it certainly is a nice plus, because it really is a match that is a toss-up with two freshmen there.
Possibly an opportunity for East Brunswick to gain maybe a little bit of momentum coming off of the last one at 112 with Phil Leota.
Yeah, because they're going to have a couple of tough matches coming up in the next 3 or 4 weight classes. The Rams really hit their stride, and it looks like Peck banged his fingers or his thumb, jammed his thumb as they went out of bounds over there. He's got some injury time coming, and he's being attended to by South River trainer and looked on by Coach Ed Chicky. On the other side, you have Glenn Pazinko and Chris Yanazzo giving him a few pointers there, because certainly this is a match that either team can pick up. Peck was in pain there when he came off. I mean, certainly if you jam your thumb like that, yeah, and you're trying to control a wrestler, you've got to have that grip.
See how it plays into the rest of this bout.
They may try to they're going to get some tape and just see if they can hold it together with some tape right now, give him some support. Meanwhile, on the other side, you see Glenn Pazinko giving some ideas, and a nice big crowd over there over on the far side. What they tried to do was split each side of the gym in half, Bears and Rams on each side, but split them in half. What you're looking at there was supposed to be the South River side, but I don't know that all the people sitting over there are going to wear maroon and gray.
But we should mention that's only half the crowd, because on the side of our camera, the same size crowd is sitting right behind us.
Yeah, usually we don't have this side pulled out, but both sides are open tonight for probably the biggest match for either team of the year. They go out of bounds with 1:33 remaining in the second period, a 2-2 matchup. Chris Yanazzo of East Brunswick and Travis Peck, both freshmen.
Peck able to work back with the taped up finger.
Chris on his feet, trying to peel those hands. Peck throws in that leg, takes him straight back, but no points there. He's got the cross body in, but doesn't have much else. He's trying to work for that, either the arm or for the guillotine, or to get the power half in there. And so far, Chris is able to fight that. Peck actually looking over, trying to get some ideas of where to go from here, because sometimes as a kid out there, you get stuck. you know what you're doing, you get it in there, and all of a sudden it's not working. And they call a stalemate, and they'll bring it back.
2-2, still your score here, the 119-pound weight category. Two freshmen, Chris Yanazzo and Travis Peck. 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining in the second period.
Eddie Glassheim pulling the top man on, and they start very quickly. Chris trying to get the escape. He almost turned inside there, and they're going to call a warning against Peck. I guess Eddie Glassheim felt that he was pushing him out of bounds as they went off. So he gives him the warning. Got to bring him back, turn him inside. Ed starts them very quick. I was just about to say, I like it when an official doesn't wait too long. Once they get in there, let's get them started. The kids are ready. They're tense. They're nervous. He's got that cross body, and that's a potentially dangerous situation. They stop it. Once you get that cross body in and you start bringing your weight off the mat, it is potentially dangerous, because if one wrestler should fall to the side or lean back, there's no support for that top man. So they break that. That's potentially dangerous.
Who did that caution go against?
The caution, was there a caution there? I'm talking too much.
I thought that there was a caution there, maybe not.
Chris gets the escape, works his way up, and gives him the 3-2 lead. A shot by Peck and defended. Looks good sprawl by Chris on the out of bounds there, going out of bounds. Tries to drop in on the single, a little duck under, but they go out. As with any wrestler, you've got to be aware of where you are. Had he been inside or been able to push him in, he had a nice penetration on the single.
East Brunswick now with the slim 3-2 lead, 24 seconds remaining in the second period.
Gets that duck under there. Peck with a nice single, and in pretty deep, tries to, I thought he was going to switch to the double. Chris sprawling out there. He's got an ankle, which would prevent Peck from really penetrating and digging his toes in. 5 seconds remaining, and they're going to stalemate that.
4 seconds remaining in this second period.
And the score will remain 3-2 as the period comes to a close.
3-3, your team score here at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium. Scott White alongside Bob Cancro as we see East Brunswick and South River at the 119 pound weight category. Chris Yanazzo for East Brunswick, Travis Peck for South River. Chris with the 3-2 advantage.
Peck chooses the bottom position defense on there, and he was down in the first period. He was taken down by Chris Yanazzo and was able to come out on a reversal. Chris not able to control him very late in the period. At this point, you almost want a couple of cheap points in here. If you can give a quick tilt, get some points, because neither wrestler is going to do anything that's too foolish. So at this point, Chris is looking to try to get that, if you can cradle it and rock him back, or try to go for that far arm and get the bar in there and pull him back for a quick 2. Right in there, he's trying to lift him.
Looks like you called it right.
He's got a count. Eddie Glassheim has done a count. And he's got 2 fingers down, which means he's earned a couple of points in there, but he's still got the combination in. And as long as he has that tilt, that bar in there through the crotch, he's not going to earn, he hasn't earned the points. He's not going to put him up on the board yet. Chris trying to rock him back again. He's not going to get it unless he can get a count for a 5 for 3 points. He's got as much as he's going to get out of this.
1 minute remaining in this period. East Brunswick with the 3-2 lead and 2 back points waiting to be awarded now. It's Chris Yanazzo.
You know, at this point, if you're Chris Yanazzo, maybe you just want to hang on, but he doesn't. He lets it go. He gets the back points.
And working already for more.
And with 40 seconds remaining, Chris really needs just to be an aggressive rider right now. I don't know if he's going to turn over Travis Peck for a pin. And at this point, I think everybody would be very happy with the decision. Everybody wearing green and white, that is. Since we were told this is also going to be broadcast over in South River, I guess we have to be a little more objective in what we say. 5-2 is the score. Chris Yanazzo of East Brunswick in the lead at 119. Tight match. Back and forth with both wrestlers maneuvering. Good points there. They were cheap points. You may call them cheap points only because it was a quick tilt. But those are important, because those are the kinds of things that you end up using down the line against tougher competition, because trying to turn a kid over with a half Nelson just isn't going to happen in the state finals. And you have 2 kids like this as freshmen wrestling varsity. Who knows where they could end up? 20 seconds remaining. Chris does try to throw in a half Nelson there, at least briefly. He's got a 2-on-1 underneath. He's got to be careful he doesn't get warned for stalling here. He's got a spiral ride on the right side. That's where he got caught at the end of the first period. And he gave up the reversal and a half Nelson with his left hand. At this point, remaining. They're happy just the way it is.
That'll do it. And East Brunswick now will extend their lead 6-3. Christianazzo with the 5-2 decision over Travis Peck. East Brunswick with their first lead of the evening.
Good match by both wrestlers. They both put in it was a tough, hard-fought, very tight match. Nobody did anything too exotic, too fancy, basic stuff, hard-fought. And Christianazzo picking up his 8th win against 9 losses on the season, but a nice finish for Christianazzo. That tilt was real important there.
Now we head into what you've been referring to as the meat of the lineup, especially for South Rivers. They sent some of their more experienced wrestlers out in the next few bouts. We're not exactly sure who's reporting out. Is a couple wrestlers were introduced early on for East Brunswick. We could tell you that's Gail Marshall, a sophomore with a 2-10 record.
He's going up against Matt Jacko, who is a junior and a 3-4 record for the Rams, which probably means that Ed Chicky is going to be moving county champ Eric Youngyow up to 130.
So again, this is a bout that really pits two wrestlers and could go, as any bout could go either way, but really this is one of those neutral bouts without one of the real high profile wrestlers. Yeah,
this is going to be important for Gail Marshall. He has not had a lot of wins on the season, but it's important for him to finish up strong here. Bob McKinley at 130 for the Bears is a stronger wrestler than Gail. I think I'm being pretty fair in saying that. So they're going to put the tougher wrestler from the Rams, Ed Chicky is, up against the better wrestler for East Brunswick. Marshall just a sophomore. And Jacko a junior for the Rams. Still got that leg in there, controlled I should say. And he's trying to dump him over. If he can get that leg in, he's got the possibility of getting the points there with a cross body if he can tilt that up. It all depends if Marshall starts to defend himself or look like he is no longer able to defend himself. But he's still got that leg on the far side there, and he's trying to turn and face him. It's still neutral.
No points, 44 seconds remaining in this first period.
He's knocked him off his base, although Marshall able to come back up. He's pretty close to it.
Holding that leg.
He's got to back out now because he's got Jacko in an awkward position here. He's got to come up. He can get the ankle. He's got to move up. He's got to pop his head out and not sit back on his haunches. He's got to drive in there now. And if he can pop his head out, he's got the 2 points.
18 seconds remaining.
Still neutral in there.
Can't get his head loose.
He can reach that far up. Now you got Jacko just trying to force it right across. Very powerful move there by Matt Jacko.
Still neutral, and that will end this first period with no points being awarded.
Tough defense by both wrestlers. And they finish up in a neutral position, no score.
East Brunswick with the choice. Marshall chooses the down position.
Looking over behind the South River bench, a number of kids loosening up over there, but Eric Youngyow probably moving up to 130 tonight. Gail Marshall down below. He was one of the brave ones, shaving his head before the match tonight. Jacko trying to throw that far side cradle in.
Neither wrestler really being able to establish themselves yet as we head into 1 minute and 30 remaining in the second period. No points yet in the 125-pound weight category.
Gail Marshall has to drive him over and step across, but right now Jacko has his legs over the top, so he's in a little better position. Marshall gets his hand out and in a good position to try to get the reversal, and he does.
2 on the reversal. First points awarded in this bout, and now Marshall looking for some more points.
And he does get the near full points there, just dumped him over long enough. Wrist roll right through there does Jacko. Crab ride by Marshall. He's got the half, he's got the legs wrapped around him. In a crab ride, he's trying to pull him over again. Scissoring his legs in there.
Marshall still maintaining control. 45 seconds remaining.
Ken Burnaby signaling that he was still perpendicular to the mat. There were no points awarded. Trying to put that power half in with the left hand.
Marshall now with the 4-point lead on the reversal and the 2 back points. He's looking to work some more
He's
back
got the
points.
half. He's powering him over.
seconds.
He's not going to get anything out of that. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. He will. I think, no. I thought Ken Burnaby was signaling he had points there. He lost control of it as he rocked him over. And that was unfortunate because he really had him in a good position there. He had the half Nelson, the far arm posted.
Trying to defend against the takedown.
Jacko's in a position at least to get one. If the period ends right now, he may give him 1 point there for the escape.
Nothing.
But no points there. I did say may. I don't want to think officials upset with me. That was a may.
Hedging the bet, East Brunswick with a 4-0 lead now as we head into the 3rd and final period. Bob, as we keep saying, these are very important bouts. No real profile wrestler, and this one could go either way. And when you look back later on, it could be an important one.
For the Bears, I think this is a real important match because you know, you've got kids coming up right now for the Rams. If they do move Young Yao up to 130, they have Bill Denise and Baba Young right after that, and those are 3 consecutive county champions coming up for the Rams. So to get some points on the board right here by Gail Marshall is really critical.
Marshall in the down position.
He still has the leg there. Jacko coming around, still green control, still Marshall's control, and Ken Burnaby emphasizing that right now. Even though Jacko is almost all the way behind him and trying to lock a cradle up, Gail Marshall still has that leg, trying to post him. They go out of bounds. He's going to give him 1, though.
Put him in the neutral position. First point for South River, 4-1 your score. 1 minute, 20 seconds remaining at the 125-pound weight category.
Marshall really did lose control there. He's hanging on. It really wasn't control at that point, but at the same time, there was no clear neutral, so you really had to wait until they rolled out of bounds. A shot by Marshall in on the single. He's got to finish that off. Switches to a double, and he slips off. He still has that leg. This is how we ended up the first period. Jacko trying to bowl him over. Little power move there. He's still got that inside leg, does Gail Marshall.
1 minute. Stalemate.
Yeah. It's a good call by Ken Burnaby because, as I said, that's how they ended the first period. It was just us rolling around and nobody had any control, and they really weren't going anyplace right there, so it probably was better to start him over. I'm not sure what happened there. Something, Jacko signaling that he needed some injury time, whether he couldn't swallow or suddenly felt ill, because I couldn't see anything else happen.
Good opportunity for Gail Marshall to get some coaching advice on the sidelines there with Glenn Pazinko.
And over on the right side there, you feel a lot of movement over there between Glenn Pazinko and John Mooney, his assistant.
52 seconds remaining in this 3rd period of the 125-pound weight category. East Brunswick with the 4-1 edge.
Now you can see on the left side, Ken Burnaby is watching over the situation on the South River side. Ed Chicky cannot coach Matt Jacko. If you take injury time, you are prohibited from giving your wrestler any kind of assistance to prevent wrestlers from milking the situation and looking for some help. On the other hand, Glenn Pazinko can talk all he wants to Gail Marshall, and I'm sure the talking that he's doing right now is saying that you've got to do a better job of controlling your man down. You can't let him come out the way he's been doing. He's given up a couple of situations there where he's been bowled over by Jacko. And at this point, he's got to get in there, finish those takedowns, and not give this up. Right there, he's got to control that, keep his weight down low. Jacko trying to power him over, does a nice job there, but Marshall dropped his weight down, but we're still in a neutral position. Got to lift that leg there. You see he's got the Navy right in with his left hand, reaching for the far arm. At this point, he's close to getting control, and he does.
2 points on the takedown. That'll extend his lead 6-1 as we head into 24 seconds remaining in this bout.
Again, just like Christian Nazar trying for a couple of cheap points there, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't lose it.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, just 8 seconds here, a 6-1 lead for Gail Marshall, and this would be a very nice win for the Bears because, as I said, there are some heavy hitters coming up for the Rams in the next 3 bouts.
East Brunswick in a good position to pull ahead 9-3 with 7 seconds remaining.
Goes to the ankle ride, and with 3 seconds remaining, that will be the bout.
Marshall extends, he picks up his 3rd win on the season, improves to 3-10. He gets the 6-1 decision, and East Brunswick goes up 9-3 in team points. as now we truly head into the meat of the lineup for South River.
So the Bears have picked up 3 in a row here after losing the opening match by Tom Noto, beating Scott Munns, but they've all been decisions. And of course, you now have the 125-pound county champion moving up to 130 pounds, Eric Youngyao, for South River against Rob McKinley for the Bears.
Youngyao, a senior with a 20-1 record. McKinley, a junior with an 11-9 record.
Youngyao, a very methodical wrestler, very aggressive, very long. I've always felt that being a short fellow myself, whenever you have the situation where you're wrestling somebody who's a few inches taller than you, there's that extra reach that you have to put in there, and you have to work that top and bottom that much harder.
Each wrestler looking to establish control.
Youngyao won the counties at 125, defeating, took him right to his back.
Youngyao with the 2 points on the takedown. They'll return to the center of the mat.
And he got a pair of points on the back, too. I think that stunned Rob a little bit.
4-0 lead for Youngyao.
Nothing illegal there, but certainly a very hard hit as they went to the mat. And Eddie Glassheim checking to make sure that Rob's okay. They're going to take injury time there. I was starting to say Eric Youngyao won the counties on Saturday by defeating Sean Morosi of Piscataway 12-2. So he had a major decision, which helped to add to the Rams' team points on that night. The Rams outdistanced South Plainfield, who was in second place, which was in second place by 26 points. So they had a considerable lead, a very solid performance by the Rams in the counties over the weekend up in Piscataway High School.
This being the last home match for East Brunswick, we head into the districts. This is the last time that East Brunswick's going to wrestle together as a team. Yeah, they're wrestling as a team in the districts, but really it is an individual title. You certainly have the opportunity to win a title as a team there, but really that's the beginning of the individual performances through the state tournament. Phil Hostler, the East Brunswick trainer, checking with Rob McKinley over there, along with his student trainer, Joanna Brom. So, no concern. I think it really it might have stunned Rob as they went to the mat. Phil Hostler is in his 13th year here at East Brunswick. He was formerly the trainer over at Madison Central. We've often talked about him being one of the better ones in the area, and certainly in the state. Rob's just a little shaky there. And Phil is, if nothing else, Phil is very concerned about safety. He's not going to let him go back out there. Phil's telling him no, but it looks like he's interested in going back.
He wants him to wrestle. The team does, certainly, but Phil is very concerned. Rob, I think, took a shot there as they went down, and Ken Burnaby going out with the stopwatch as far as how much time is left. They're getting close to the end of that 2 minutes. Starting to say Phil Hostler is the National Athletic Trainers Association has named Phil Hostler in 1996 one of the 10 most distinguished athletic trainers in the nation. So when Charlie King, as athletic director 13 years ago, brought Phil over, he got one of the better ones, and Frank Knappenberger certainly has been very supportive of Phil's work here, and he does a great job. He's helped my daughter both last year and this year. She's a softball player and given her a lot of good ideas and advice. And that's going to be it. It's going to be a default. That's obviously disappointing to Rob McKinley, but the safety of any athlete is of prime concern.
He's having a rough time as you see him walking off. Phil's helping him into the locker room. That'll tie the match up. 6 points awarded to South River on the...
That's a default. On that default, an injury default.
9-9 your scores. We head to the 135-pound weight category for East Brunswick. It's Tom Corio, a freshman at 8-6. We'll wait and find out who's wrestling for South River.
That's Bill Denise for the Rams, a 19-1 junior. And the GMC tournament champion at 135.
So South River sends 2 county champions to the mat right in a row.
And they're going to send a third one out in the next bout too. So this is really the heart of the South River lineup. At this point, Tommy Corio, who's wrestled very well for the Bears this year, 8-6 on the season, had a chance to go through into the 5-6 consolation round for the Bears and the GMCs. And as a freshman, that's a good start to a career. Has that single. Tried to bring that arm through the crotch, and again the tilt, working that half and that far crotch ride, the spiral ride. They go out, and Ken Burnaby will bring them back inside.
2-0, Bill Denise with the lead. Denise going to let him up and look for the takedown, maybe a return to some of the strategy we saw earlier on with Tom Noto.
This could be a back and forth until you find the position you want to be, and certainly an easy takedown right there for Denise as they work on the far side of the mat. Tries to bring him back in, and accidentally almost giving him the 1 point. May give him the one there, I don't know. When they roll out of bounds, I think Tommy might have thought he was out and kind of stopped wrestling a little bit there. He slowed down a little bit and got dumped over, but they're clearly out of bounds. Nothing was going to happen there.
1 minute into this first period, it's pretty clear that Denise has established himself as the wrestler, the higher profile wrestler in this bout.
Yeah, this could be a 2-1 situation again until we work into some bonus points there. That's going to be a warning against Tommy Corio backing up. Tom's going to have to, just wrestle a little bit tougher. He's going up against obviously the best kid in the county. Whether or not he won the counties, he's certainly one of the better wrestlers at 135 pounds, and he gets a takedown again there. And this could be that back and forth situation.
6-2 your score, 39 seconds remaining in this first period. The lead for Bill Denise of East Brunswick.
Just going back for a second to that 130-pound match, there's nothing to say that Eric Youngyao would have scored the pin had they been in the match and finished it off. But it was an easy 6 for South River to pick up, and it was just an unfortunate. Nothing illegal. Youngyao was just a tough, aggressive wrestler. He gave a hard shot to Bill as they went down, and legal. And very unfortunate for Rob McKinley, I should say. Unfortunate for Rob. Unfortunate for the Bears to have to give up that 6. Even though you're going against one of the best kids around, there was no guarantee that was going to be a 6-point match for South River. Just under 20 seconds remaining in the first period here. Bill Denise for the Rams. Easy control so far in this first period against East Brunswick's Tommy Corio. Going with that front headlock and the roll through. Not a headlock, I'm sorry. Just bring him over with the kind of like a Russian.
That'll do it for the first period. Denise with the 6-2 lead over Corio, the 135-pound weight category. Talking about the previous bout, Bob, I guess in these middle bouts, East Brunswick, not knowing that they're going to lose, but being the underdog, would love nothing more than to give up just a regular decision or maybe something less than the full 16 points.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you look at, Rob McKinley is a decent wrestler. He's a good wrestler. He's a junior. He's put in some quality time for the Bears. Tommy Corio is a freshman, an 8-6 record, an excellent job, and has done his share. And Andy Tanchek coming up at 140, a 12-9 record. Certainly not, superstar category, but doing a good job. But you're going up against the 3 best wrestlers in those weight classes, the best wrestler in those weight classes, in those three kids, as they wrestle Young, Denise, and Young. So really, if they can give up just a regular decision, I'll tell you, even giving up a major decision would probably be a plus for the Bears.
2 points on the takedown there to extend the lead for Denise. 8-2, 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining.
Corio coming out and around, and they're going to give him 2 on the reversal.
Corio will close the gap now to 4 points. Denise leading 8-4, 1 minute, 12 seconds remaining in this second period. We're at the 135-pound weight category.
If nothing else, Tommy Corio gives you 100% every time he goes out there. He's a gutsy wrestler. He's certainly not flashy. He's another kid who, if I'm not mistaken, is also working with Gene Wazark. We mentioned earlier that some of these other kids have, but Wazark working with a former wrestler from East Brunswick, working with Tommy, and there's a reversal for Denise, and that gives it a 6-point margin, 10-4, with just under a minute remaining in the second period. Cross-body right in there by Denise. He's going to try to rock Tommy back, but they roll right out of bounds with it. And over on the South River side, Ed Chicky signaling, give him the 1. Cut him loose.
44 seconds remaining in this second period. South River with a 10-4 advantage. And team points, we're tied 9-9 as we are at the 135-pound weight category heading into the middle of the lineup.
He never got the escape there, but he gives him the one at that point. This happens to a lot of wrestlers. They want to give him the one, but they don't back away far enough. Tommy backing up a little bit, and Ken Burnaby being real quick on the, after warning him earlier, gives him the point.
Corio giving up the point on that, extends the lead 11-5 with the takedown there. For Denise, it's now 13-5 with 24 seconds remaining in the second period.
Now that's an 8-point margin, which, as we've talked about on a number of occasions, that's the major decision. So that would give an extra team point to South River should the bout end at this point. But we have 14 seconds left in just the second period, so we've got a lot of wrestling ahead of us. Little movement down there. Nobody called for caution, though. Tommy trying to stand up. Very simple. Far side, that crotch ride by Denise, and a number of wrestlers on both sides have used that tonight. He throws that cross body in, but the period will come to an end.
That'll do it. 13-5 your score at the end of the second period. Bill Denise in control over Tom Corio at the 135-pound weight category.
Choice will be Tommy Corio's in the last period, and he will choose the defense. Again, the idea trying to get some quick points, and he's going to get one right off the bat with Bill Denise giving him that on the alternate start.
Two points on the takedown for South River. It's going to let him up once again. 1 point on the escape, and Corio now trails 15-7. They're out of bounds, staying in the neutral position. They'll return to the center of the mat. Bill Denise in control, 15-7. 1 minute 42 seconds remaining in the third period.
Still an 8-point margin for Denise, so he's got the major decision right now, and Corio has to be careful. He's going to be warned again. He's going to be actually penalized again for backing up, and another point for Denise. And a takedown for Denise. Ken Burnaby has worked up at the state level, and at that level, they are very quick to call the stalls.
18-8 for those of you who couldn't keep up with all the scoring going on right now. It's 18-8, Denise on top.
Yeah, I've got it stretched out just about across the entire page here. A lot of movement. Tommy Corio trying to lift it, force it through, and they go out on the edge.
They'll return to the center of the mat. Just over 1 minute remaining in this bout, the 135-pound weight category.
A little conference by Ed Glassheim and Ken Burnaby. Ed offering some thoughts about that, perhaps backing up again. Tommy in a sprawl with Denise in on the single, trying to lift it. Tommy has a whizzer in there. That's that right arm over Denise's left arm. Puts a lot of strain on both wrestlers' shoulders there, but it does prevent the takedown. That maintains the neutral. That maintains you out of control.
18-8 still the score. Corio fighting against giving up the pin. And Bob, I guess what would happen if this lead extended to 15 points?
Well, right now we've got a real problem, or Tommy Corio has a real problem, because he was just hit again for stalling and a 2-point penalty. I'm not sure if they gave the takedown for the, or yes, he did. He gave the takedown. He's going to give him the optional start again and the escape. I want to check the score here.
We're at 22-8.
22-8. That is 22-8. 14 points. Now a 13-point margin on the escape. The next one would be a tech fall. If Tommy Corio were to be called for a stall again, he'd be disqualified, and that'd be 6 points. So Tommy really has to fight in there. He's going to do it. That's a tough call, but Burnaby was consistent with it.
Denise with the decision on that one. It'll extend South River's lead. 15 points, 15-9. As we now move ahead to the 140-pound weight category, but Glenn Pazinko with a few words for the referee first.
He's arguing vehemently. He's got to be careful because they could pop him for a point there. He's got to stay off the mat and stay back a little bit. It's a tough call for anytime you do that, to disqualify a wrestler, not for illegal holds, but for stalling. And it's a subjective decision. You say over and over again, stalling is very subjective. Ken Burnaby was banging him for the stall every time he backed up.
South River with their second lead of the night. They got the first decision at the 103-pound weight category to go up 3-0. Now they return to the lead at 15-9. We now move on to the 140-pound weight category. Andrew Tanchek, a senior at 12-9 for East Brunswick. Bobby Young, a senior and GMC champ at 19-1 for South River.
Bobby Young finally got, I guess you'd have to say, he got what he deserved in winning the GMCs up in Piscataway last weekend. He'd been a runner-up 3 times. And he finally earned the championship. Nice kid. He was also, if I'm not mistaken, he was the quarterback for South River's football team as well this year. And there's some delay there. I'm not sure why. Just wanted to make sure the bottom end was set. Probably had a lot of trouble with that headgear, that aviator's helmet that he has on. That kept slipping off during the GMC finals last week as he was wrestling Ricky Stokel from South Plainfield.
One on the escape for Andrew Tanchek.
Drops in on the single. Good defense by Tanchek. And they stay back on their feet. He's going to get the takedown. Those toes are still in bounds. And a 4-1 lead for Bobby Young with 1:27 in the first period.
A fast-moving and very aggressive wrestler.
Very quick. Follows around quickly. Eric Andrew's got to watch out with that hand left behind there. Cranks him over on the half. A lot of time in this period. Andrew is caught under there. Bobby's got him pretty tight. He's a little high. He's got to fix that up a little bit. Extend that arm. Lift that head back. Lift that head up. But Andrew fighting it pretty well, but he's down.
There's the pin. That'll extend the South River lead 21-9. That pin coming 58 seconds into the first period. As Bobby Young picks up the pin, and South River picks up the lead 21-9. We move on now to the 152-pound, 145-pound weight category. These middle categories are starting to move a little quickly now.
Well, South River's picked up 18 points in a row in some very interesting fashion. An injury default, a disqualification, and then probably the most normal one. They've moved Mike Ashatino up to 145 to wrestle Eric. Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead of myself here. Hold on.
Nope, I think you're right. Eric Bellis, the senior at 17.
That is not Eric Bellis.
No?
Not with the face mask.
Well, Mike Ashatino, a freshman at 9-4 at 145-pound weight category for South River. We'll check on the East Brunswick wrestler for you. 1 minute, 40 seconds remaining in this first period. No points awarded yet, 21-9, the team score. South River in control. Each wrestler looking for the first points and the takedown. Nothing awarded. They'll return to the center of the mat, still in the neutral position. Ashatino shoots the right leg. Still no points awarded. They'll lock up and maintain the neutral position. Ashatino will try to roll him. Still can't get control. No points awarded yet. And East Brunswick will get the first 2 on the takedown. East Brunswick on top 2-0, the 145-pound weight category, 1 minute in the first period.
Scott, we made a terrible mistake in that last one. That was not Andrew Tanchek. This is Andrew Tanchek with the mask. I knew this was not Eric Bellis at 145. So they're moving people around, and even the table over there, Powell Sachs on the scoreboard is having a little trouble keeping up with it. They've moved Tanchek up to 145, so I apologize for Andrew for saying that he just had a fall, got pinned there. So at this point, they're juggling the lineup is Glenn Pazinko. And I have to say, I do not know who wrestled Bobby Young. We're going to check on that. And they weren't quite sure over there because that was a throw-in for them, too. So we had an error over there as we have Tanchek here against Ashatino.
Tanchek still in control, 2-0 is your score. 16 seconds remaining in this first period of the 145-pound weight category. Tanchek on top. Mike Ashatino, the freshman, on the bottom.
Well, we're going to check that again because we're getting information as we go along. That's Joe Ashatino, his brother. So they have really messed us up here. So I apologize for that, too. We're trying to get this information as best we can.
They will just skip names going forward.
It may have to be that way from this point. I mean,
That'll end the first period. The wrestler for East Brunswick with 2, South River with 1. East Brunswick with the decision, choosing the down position.
that is Andrew Tanchik, and Joe Ashatino was the wrestler for South River, but my gosh, we got really twisted around on that one. I did know it was Bobby Young, definitely won at 140 pounds. There's no question on that side.
Next time we do one, we get them numbers on the back of the singles.
They may have something, numbers, names. Got us thrown off there. Still Ashatino in control. And Tanchik trying to whiff that leg over his head and come around. Very awkward position there. Ashatino had him on top. Tanchik comes around, does not have it. Now he's got the control as he came around behind him.
Both rolled right through and off their backs. 4-1, Tanchik on top now for East Brunswick. 1:17 remaining in the second period. East Brunswick looking to get their first win after dropping a few matches in a few bouts in a row.
And both coaches moving things around on the lineup. And they're giving an illegal hold. I'm not sure what that was. The point for Joe Ashatino. And as we look over to the East Brunswick side, it looks like they definitely are moving Eric Bellis up from 145. And probably Ricky Santos for the Rams may move up too. But we're going to check the score keepers again before we say anybody's name. Ken Burnaby, a quick explanation, Ed Schicky, of what happened there.
6-2 your score. Tanchik picking up the 2 on the takedown. 1 point awarded for an illegal hold. Joe Ashatino picking up that one. 6-2 is your score. Just over 1 minute remaining in the second period of the 145-pound weight category. Once again, South River in control of the match so far. 21-9 your score. This match is far from over.
Try to switch there. Ashatino did coming out and held back by Tanchik. Got to bring him back inside, break him down. As he comes to his feet, he can lock hands in there.
Tanchik trying to keep him in the circle.
He's got a half in there and a far wrist. Trying to turn him, but he's going to get some. He should get some points. He's got a hip into him though. This would be a nice comeback for the Bears. Sorry, Scott, I stepped on you there. He's got some points earned on the side.
3 back points on that. He'll extend his lead 9-2, a 7-point lead for East Brunswick. And as you were saying, Bob, a very important match. They're all important, but East Brunswick's given up a few in a row now, and they really need to get back in the winning ways before they let the match get out of hand.
Well, the Bears have a couple of opportunities here. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. You've got Eric Bellis sitting on the side here waiting to go. Russell Yoda, Josh Javen, all quality kids. You wonder how far they're going to bounce these kids up in the lineup. Obviously, Glenn Pazinka looking ahead and making this move, putting in, I have to say, and I apologize, the unknown wrestler there at 140 pounds, moving Tanchik up to 45, and then obviously now going to be bumping Bellis, Leota, and Jabin up through the 171 pounds and see if they can pick up some points in there.
9-2 your score. We head into the third period. East Brunswick in control. Ashatino will make the decision to start in the down position. Tanchik on top.
Andy Tanchik's been aggressive. He's gotten some back points in there. He's going to give him the optional start. Feeling he might be able to get the takedown again. But he's also got to be careful because when he took him over before, he almost overextended there and got rolled through. So he's got to be careful. Obviously, it looks like Ashatino's a pretty strong kid. And there's the takedown.
Worked for him, gave up the 1 and picked up the 2 on the takedown. 11-3 now your score. East Brunswick looking possibly to pick up some additional team points with a major decision.
He's got the crossbody, bringing that arm back. He's got to be careful he doesn't extend it against the joint too far. Trying to reach back for the guillotine. Joe Ashatino, his brother Mike, he's out of bounds. He's got to be careful where he is. He's got to take him inside, turn him in. He's on the line. You see Ken Burnaby indicating he's on the line. There are no points there. He's got to turn him inside.
He's going to pick up some back points.
But he's going to have nothing right now, except to stretch this fella out.
Well, if nothing else, he's eating up some clock. 1 minute remaining in this period. It's the third and final period.
It's okay to eat up clock, but it's nice to get some points out of there, too. No points is signaled by Ken Burnaby. And they'll go back inside with 55 seconds remaining in the third period. And we've got some injury time there as Joe Ashatino was down. Joe Ashatino, his brother Mike, sons of Bishop R football coach Tony Ashatino. Tony also coaches baseball over at Old Bridge. Looks like he's got a cramp there. The cross body ride that Andrew Tanchek threw in there does stretch you out a little bit, and you can get those legs twisted up. And if you're putting out a lot of energy and exerting yourself, you get stretched out, or in case you cramp up a little bit, very uncomfortable.
Bob, you're talking about the two coaches moving around wrestlers as strategy, so to speak. Does either team have to send their wrestler to the mat first? What happens? Does one wait to see what the other's doing, or how does that work?
They a couple of years ago, the rules changed, and again, there may be a change here back again. But a couple of years ago, the odd and even choice at the beginning also determined who was to go out first. At one point, it was the home team that was supposed to put their wrestler on the mat first, and the visitors. They said, well, if you happen to have a lot of home matches, then you're stuck committing yourself. So then they started alternating back and forth. I believe that rule was taken out, so it really just is, the coach's choice. He wants to get his man out there quickly. But at this point, when they started moving Young Yao up, you started to see them maneuvering by both sides. When Ed Schicky bounced Young Yao up to 130 pounds, as a warning is given to Andrew Tanchek. I guess he's not working hard enough to bring him down with 43 seconds remaining in the last period. You don't want to give a point because he's got a major decision right now. As a caution. At this point, Andrew Tanchek has an 8-point major decision. That's 4 points for the team. So he doesn't want to give up an escape. He doesn't want to give up a reversal, obviously. At the same time, he also right now doesn't want to give up a stalling point. He's been warned, and that would cost the team a point at this point. Now, Ashatino trying for Peterson there. He had the far wrist going for the inside leg. Tanchek not in great position there. He's stretched out there on that the far arm, but they're going to call that potentially dangerous. And that was, I think, really to the advantage of Tanchek because he was not in a good position. Even though he had the far half in there, was stretching that arm out, he was underneath the man a little bit too much, and not good leverage there.
He has 21 seconds, 20 seconds now to
bring
hold
him
on
down.
to this.
He's got to come around there, double it up, take him down here, put him back on the mat. Good control there. He's got to move up quickly.
10 seconds.
Doesn't want to clasp either. That's another issue. He's got to move up, or that could be called for stalling. This is Ken Burnaby, who disqualified Tommy Corio a couple of bouts back for stalling.
That'll do it. He'll hold on to the major decision. 11-3 your score. Nailing that 8-point margin. East Brunswick will pick up 14 points to close the gap now to just 8. South River with a 21-13 team advantage.
And we're going to see if we can figure out who's coming on the mat. For the Bears, there's no question. It's going to be Eric Bellis moving up from his normal 145-pound spot.
See who's coming out for South River. Eric Bellis, a senior with a 17-3 record, one of the more experienced and higher profile wrestlers for East Brunswick. For South River, we have Ricky Santos. Ricky Santos, only a sophomore with a 12-7 record. East Brunswick looking to turn the tide in this match as they fell behind with a couple of decisions, but now they pick up the major decision there, 13 team points to 21 for South River.
Everybody moving themselves up here, so it looks like Russell Yoda then will bounce up to 160 tonight. Bellis in there, a single by Santos. Santos, one of the more experienced wrestlers, even though he's only a sophomore.
Neither wrestler establishing themselves yet. 1 minute, 33 seconds remaining in this first period. The 152-pound weight category.
Bellis in on a single. And the takedown.
Bellis with the first points, 2-0 East Brunswick.
Eric came in second place at the GMCs. At this point, it would be the escape there. It would be very important for Eric Bellis certainly to get the win against a reasonably good kid, but he should be, this is something where he could win this match. There's no question he's got the ability and certainly experience to do it.
Maybe an opportunity for East Brunswick to pick up some additional team points.
Yeah. Ricky Santos was the 6th seed at 145. Both these kids are normally 145-pounders, so they simply bounced them up to 152 in order to get Tanchek in at 145 rather. And Eric was the 2nd seed, and that too panned out in the seeding in a very tough match against Cairo Mormon from Piscataway in the finals of the GMCs last week.
35 seconds remaining in this first period. 2-1 your score. East Brunswick on top. Eric Bellis for East Brunswick. Ricky Santos for South River.
It looks like Ed Glassheim has picked up the pace that Ken Burnaby has said as far as backing up and calling that stalling very quickly. A warning went out there to Ricky Santos as he backed up a couple of steps right in there. Derek drops in on the double and gets the takedown.
2 on the takedown with only 10 seconds remaining in this period. Looking to pick up some quick back points. Not going to happen. 4 seconds remaining.
And they'll probably hold it up right there.
That'll do it. 5-1 your score at the end of the first period. South River's choice, they'll choose the down position. Ricky Santos will start in the down position. Eric Bellis, the senior, on top.
Clint Pazinko coming over to question something here. Whether it's the score, it should be 4-1, I think. They had 5-1 up on the board.
Keeping it honest.
You know, you might say, why would a coach want to take a point off the board when you have the lead? But the thing is, you don't want to be misled.
You don't want that to come back to haunt you later on.
Down the line, if you don't think that score is right, you better check it because, you know, if you think you have that 1-point lead and in fact it's a tie, that's the last thing you want to suddenly say to a kid, by the way, you're going into another minute of wrestling here.
So we correct it, and the score now stands at 4-1, an erroneous point up there. Bellis working on top for East Brunswick. Santos on the bottom.
He's working outside. He's trying to break the man down, but he also works outside, and he goes for that tilt for a couple of back points in there. Does not get it. Ricky Santos able to boost himself up on his hands. But again, similar to what Christian Nazzo wanted to do earlier on when he just got that quick tilt at the end of his match, and they go out of bounds. With 1:11 on the clock in the second period at 152 pounds. Eric Bellis, captain for the Bears, or co-captain for the Bears against Ricky Santos for the Rams. And he'll give him the point. Oh, changes, gave him the optional start.
Give up the point, make it 4-2, and now he's going to look for the takedown.
Yeah, he's had 2 already. Snaps him down, tries to go to that front headlock. Drops in very nicely there.
Double leg takedown. 2 on the takedown. They'll stop it right away. Bellis looking for some crowd support.
Something happened there to Ricky Santos as he went down. Must have called out. And the officials, the rules have changed. If a kid calls out in pain, they're going to stop it. When a kid says, I can't breathe, you have to question that because obviously you need to breathe in order to talk. And if he's telling you can't breathe, you've got a problem there. But when a kid calls out, especially when they've just been suddenly taken down, it could have been that he got doubled back. Can I picture that? It looked like he kind of bent back over his legs. He might have just been stunned there. And they're going to give him 2 back points as well. He was going to his back. Ed Glassheim coming over, explaining that to the scorers table. So Eric Bellis is going to have an 8-2 lead. They gave him the back points right away. Again, when he calls out, that again a rule change in the last couple of years, changing that so that a wrestler could not get out of a pinning combination by simply calling out in pain.
Bellis lets him up and gives up the 1.
He's been able to drop in on that double several times now and put him over, and he's going to have 2 again.
Working desperately for the back points. 33 seconds remaining in the second period.
Eric is not a power wrestler in that he powers people over and pins a lot of kids. He'll get his share of pins, but he'll do it not through the blood and guts, but more through a little bit of style, a little bit of finesse, dropping on a takedown like that and putting a kid right to his back as he did there a couple of times with Santos. 10-2 lead with just 17 seconds remaining in the second period.
Bellis on top, as he's been the entire period. Caution will go against Bellis.
Went a little over aggressive there as they came back on. Switch and a re-switch by Bellis, maintains control as we get under 10 seconds in the period. Eddie Glessheim telling both wrestlers, keep moving, keep going, keep wrestling. Let's keep some action on.
That'll end the second period. 10-2 your score. Eric Bellis in control for East Brunswick as we head into the third and final period.
And that'll bring Ed Chicky over. I'm not sure what he's checking. Something about the score.
It's Bellis' decision. He will opt for the defensive position.
And now we have, the scoreboard has 10-2, and we have 10-2 based on what was told to us. They're checking both books. Now the home book is the official book.
Glenn will come over to check on things.
You know something? I have 3 escapes myself.
10-3 is your score then.
I have 3 escapes. I was not looking at my first period. There was an escape there too.
Scorers missed one at the scores table. That'll be adjusted now. 10-3 is your score. East Brunswick's Eric Bellis leading Ricky Santos. We're at the 152-pound weight category. East Brunswick wrestling against South River. South River leading this match 21-13.
In the last period, Eric Bellis down, coming around, and he's going to have the reversal.
Gets 2 on the reversal. Extend his lead now 12-3.
Well, that's a major decision.
And he's looking for more.
He's got his lifting the inside leg, go to the far side, trying to power him over there now.
Getting the back points.
Switch to a half right in there. Well, just as I said, he's not going to be a power wrestler. There's a power move to take him over, so you never know what's going to happen. He's got a pair.
2 on the back points, extends his lead now 14-3.
Now nothing's going to happen here until it goes to a 15-point margin. Nice chin snap there, takes the bar over, trying to turn him one more time and put him down. He's got a lot of time, over a minute. Eddie Glessheim looking
for the pin.
Got to stretch out that far arm, keep that half. Ken Burnaby on the far side, making sure that he doesn't cover his mouth or his nose.
Santos fighting hard.
He's about 2 inches down. Eddie Glessheim giving the signal. We really would like that 6 now.
Pushing hard. Could be an important 6 for East Brunswick. He's giving it all he's got.
Critical 6 if he can get it.
He has 40 seconds to work it.
He's got to extend that arm. Try it one more, take that bar
one more time. He's going to reposition. He'll pick up 3 back points on that, extend his lead now 17-3.
That's a 14-point margin.
And they're stopping, I believe he called him out of bounds. Return to the center of the mat, 27 seconds remaining. East Brunswick's Eric Bellis with a 17-3 lead.
John Mooney over on the side is saying to Eric, give him the 1 and then try to get the 2 again, and that would give him the tech fall.
The 15-point differential.
Right. And he's certainly taken him down several times here. He's going to give him the 1. No, he's got to give him the 1. There it goes. And now he's going to try for the 2, and that would give him the 5 tech fall, and he's got 20 seconds to do that.
He needs this takedown. Once again, we remind you, this is the senior on senior night, last time here wrestling at East Brunswick. Looking desperately for that 2. He has 6 seconds remaining.
He just gave him a point. He just gave Bellis a point.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen. Able to fight off the technical fall. Your final score, 18-4, just a 14-point differential. Bellis with the victory, but he'll pick up 3 team points with that and close that gap. 14 points with the major decision, close that team gap. Now it's only 21-17, a 4-point differential. South River leading East Brunswick.
That's a very aggressive match by Eric Bellis. He has not always been that. He's a good wrestler, but not always been that aggressive, and he certainly went after it. And that last couple points, he came close.
We're at the 160-pound weight category. As soon as we sort through exactly who we have it wrestling for East Brunswick and South River, we'll get that to you. Once again, 21-17, the team score. South River leading East Brunswick.
That's Joe Leota for the Rams against Russ Leota for the Bears. Russ Leota moving up from the 152-pound weight class, going up against Joe Young.
Joe Young,
brother of Bobby.
Joe Young, the junior, with a 9-8 record. Russ Leota, also a junior with 11-8 record. This is, again, I guess, another one of those bouts that could go either way. Two well-matched wrestlers.
This is a tough one too. Russ has had a pretty good run this season, as you said, at 11-8. He's got to put it all together right now and not get caught in something like that. And they're going to say they're out of bounds. Can Burnaby, the official?
Still neutral, no points awarded.
What this probably means is that Josh Jabin will probably move up to 171 pounds in place of either Ross Lesnick or Ross Cross now. Both of those fellas had been wrestling at 71. And we finally got somebody who belongs in the weight class, at least from the original lineup that we got. Joe Young at 160 for the Rams.
Still neutral, 1 minute 35 seconds remaining in this first period. We're at 160 pounds. Russ Leota for East Brunswick, Joe Young for South River.
Russ drops in on that single. A good sprawl by Young. Trying to force that over. Russ flattened out there and comes up again, able to fight it. And again, there's that headlock, that head and arm that South River loves to do, and it's been on the out of bounds, fortunately for Russ. And he's got some blood again, it looks like.
Still no points, and I think you're right, we're going to start to run blood time. So he has a nosebleed.
Blood time is 5 minutes total in the match. For injury or recovery from an illegal hold, it's 2 minutes. Blood, which used to be an unlimited amount of time, has been changed to a 5-minute maximum. So that again, trying to speed up the match, speed up the contest a little bit, and making sure that we get these things in before the sunrise. This has sort of been a match of extremes, either one that was really drawn out, or some really exciting tussling back and forth. It seems to be nothing in between there. You've had some really tight matches, especially in the early going. And then the last 4 or 5 matches, I guess it's just been this explosion of points and activity back and forth. Just to recap a little bit, as we have some time here, South River going out to the 3-0 lead on the win by Tommy Noto over Scott Munns, and then the Bears picking up the next 3 decisions. Phil Leota, Christian Azzo, and Gail Marshall each picking up wins for East Brunswick. And then the Rams sort of hit their stride as they picked up several in a row. Begun with Eric Young-Yow's injury default against Rob McKinley. Bill Denise, Bobby Young both picking up 6 points apiece, 1 on a disqualification, 1 on a fall. And now the Bears have scored again. Andy Tanchek and Eric Bellis picking up a total of 7 points for them, and rather 8 points for them. And it brings us to the 160-pound weight class. We have Russ Leota and Joe Young.
Still no score, 1 minute 8 seconds remaining in this first period.
And on that single, Russ trying to counter that with the whizzer there, and they go out. And they are neutral still. Joe and Bobby Young's dad, Earl, is a graduate of East Brunswick, now lives in South River, and he runs the rec program over there. He is a fellow who is very involved in the program, very enthusiastic, works very nicely with the kids over there, really does a nice job for the rec program in South River. We've got blood again for Phil Leota. Bears have already had a situation where they've lost a bout because of injury default. And the same thing could happen here. For example, Phil Leota were to take up all 5 minutes and not be able to continue. And they'll stop it as they try to clean up the side over there. Assistant coach Joe Shatari and student trainer Joanna Brahm over there, finishing up, just cleaning the edge of the mat. Both wrestlers waiting in the middle.
56 seconds remaining in this first period. We're at the 160-pound weight category. Once again, for East Brunswick, Russ Leota. For South River, Joe Young.
Combination of them going out of bounds several times and Russ having the blood twice has really slowed the pace of this thing down. So where you had wrestlers who were going in there and just rolling right through, suddenly it's kind of come down to a snail's pace a little bit here. A lot of flurries in the middle there, but then going out of bounds has just stopped the matchup.
Leota looking for the takedown.
Russ trying to roll that one through, steps through again. Whizzer by Young, trying to counter it. Russ had to get behind for the 2. He almost was there, but he did not finish it off. there's no control. As they went out of bounds, as they were wrestling, I should say, Russ lost that packing that he had in his nose, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
Run the blood time again. Till Hostler back out. Let's check on the nosebleed once again.
Well, again, the clock is a factor here. I'm not sure what else they can do. I mean, you pack the nose as tight as you can with the cotton or the wadding, and you hope for the best. But with limited blood time, they're going to have to take a look at what to do here. I'm not sure what else they could do except to possibly tape that into his nose. I'm not sure if that's even possible.
Brunswick certainly not wanting to give up another default.
Now the time is stopped, but now they're just cleaning up. Trying to hear how much time they used.
They're discussing how much blood time is remaining. 5 minutes total, Bob Cancro told you.
He has used 2 minutes and 47 seconds of the blood time, so he's gone about halfway through that. And we're only in the first period. So that's a very precarious situation.
Still no score at this 160-pound weight category. 25 seconds remaining in the first period.
Young with that rush in the front. Phil.
They'll be out one more time.
They're going to call an unsportsmanlike against Joey Young.
So no points awarded as of yet, but that'll be the first one. Unsportsmanlike against Young. Leota will pick up 1 point.
I guess if you replay that in slow motion, or just replay it again if you're taping this, it looked like Joe kind of gave him a little tap. Phil did tap back. Ken Burnaby calling Young on the point.
Young looking for the takedown.
And that may have been a motivational factor for Joe Young. He goes in there, does not finish it off though. Although he's turning Phil over here, he does not have control yet. Ken Burnaby still keeping the neutral position. Now he's got the two.
Takedown.
Just at the buzzer. And 2 on the back.
4-1 your score. Joe Young picking up 4 points at the very end of that first period. We headed now into the second period. East Brunswick's decision. Leota will choose the defensive position. That point that Russ Leota got was kind of expensive because it cost him 4 more. I guess it might have motivated Joe Young. He was not happy that he got banged for that point. But he certainly got in there and was able to finally finish that off. Leota starting the down position. Second period here at 160 pounds. Russ Leota against the Rams' Joe Young. He's clearing himself on top, but he's still leaving a leg behind and not able to clear his hips out. So they'll come back in. Russ Leota down 3, tries to switch, and is looks like he'll get it. 2 on the switch. Leota now on top. They'll go out of bounds one more time, but now when they return to the mat, Leota will be in the offensive position. Young will take defense. And they're going to run blood time again. So now we're approaching 3 minutes used by Phil Leota. He will only have 2 more minutes. And we are very early in the second period. We still have 1:40 remaining in this second period. They'll stop it only after giving up a few seconds there. Certainly, he must be over the 3-minute mark. Yeah, I was going to say he's probably around 3 minutes now because it was 2:47 when they were checking in that first period when it ended. Looked like Joe Young was trying to get that wrist roll, maybe go to a Peterson. That's something that South River uses a lot too. That and that front headlock and the Russian. 1:30 remaining in this second period. 4-3 now your score. Joe Young with the lead. Russ Leota trying to use a power breakdown, a head weaver. Going to the bar there, posting that. Got to keep it legal, got to keep it perpendicular to the back. And there's blood again. Got more blood on his leg now coming out of his nose. And Russ didn't even realize it was happening. This is, now we've seen a disqualification for stalling penalties. He's back on the mat. They've got a signal to stop the match, stop the clock. Time is definitely of the essence now. East Brunswick certainly not wanting to give up these 6 points. They already gave up 6 points, as you saw earlier, on an an injury, and they don't want to give it up now, as this is a very tight match. 21-17, South River leading. We're at the 160-pound weight category.
Scott, I can't recall a situation where I've ever seen a match where there was a disqualification for injury, or rather, I should say default for injury, and a disqualification on penalties. In this case, it was stalling. And now we're really risking a third situation if Phil Leota should run out of blood time. That would be just a tremendous.
Good thing they got 2 refs tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, and that is a good point. You make a very good point there, because in truth, that does give both referees an opportunity to watch the situation better and be more aware. Nice recovery there by Phil. He was in trouble there as Joe Young was moving very nicely from underneath. It gives both referees an opportunity to really watch the situation, one to monitor the clock, one to monitor the wrestlers. He's got that bar in there. He's got to be careful. That's almost a chicken wing there.
Try to roll him.
Trying to get that tilt. He's perpendicular, and they go out of bounds.
Gives him an opportunity to repack the nose. 42 seconds remaining in the second period.
I guess the only thing you tell Russ is to stop breathing so he doesn't blow that pad out, that wad of cotton out.
Certainly a precarious situation that you have to figure is probably on his mind.
No, there's no question. And that's got to affect your wrestling. You know, that definitely has to affect you. You're in there, you've got to be thinking, geez, I'm going to run out of time here on my butt. I'm wrestling pretty well. I'm only down by a point, but I could end up losing this thing if I just bleed too long. Joe Young trying to step over. Russ maintaining some control. He's got a back door out there, come out. And right there, go to the half. Try to cradle it up a little bit if he could.
10
Joe
seconds
recovers.
remaining in the second period.
At this point, Russ will probably just run it out. He's going to give a warning for stalling to Joe Young. Ken Burnaby banging the mat, holding up the red armband.
That'll end this second period. A close one, 4-3 your score. Joe Young leading Russ Leota.
We have injury time this time for Joe Young, and that may be to Russ Leota's advantage as you get a chance to take another look at that, maybe change that cotton wad. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Russ was almost starting to tell the official, I've got blood, I've got to get packing. But they looked at the situation for Joe Young.
Looks like we got nosebleeds on both sides of the mat.
This is a bloody mess we've got out here right now. Ken Burnaby came over to the scorer's table to make sure they had the clock running on the right side. This time for South River's Joe Young. And Joe Young will take the bottom as they stop the blood time clock. And we are, for now, looking at the last 2 minutes of regulation anyway. A 4-3 lead for South River.
Calling on the blood crew to clean the mat.
And Phil Hostler does a lot of good things with the kids in the room, the trainer's room, and also has to do some of the grunt work out there, mopping up the blood too.
Leota on top as we head into this third and final period, but Leota does trail by 1. Young leads 4-3 at the 160-pound
Goes through
weight
that Peterson, and Russ not able to recover there. Good, nice exchange there, and really a good no call by Ken Burnaby. The exchange went back and forth. Russ able to come back on top with the reswitch. Good no call. Because I'm certain there are referees, and maybe I would have done it myself when I had stripes on, giving them 2 and 2, and it would have been a wasted set of points there. Really, it's not necessary. It was a good call.
Lost the packing out of the nose, Leota did.
Now, right now, Russ has to move up. He's down by a point. He's got to turn him. Certainly, Joe Young is at an advantage in that he just has to get up, pick up another. He's ahead. If he could just get an escape, he'd be in good shape. Russ trying to get that double grape in there, run the power half in.
1:10 remaining in this bout.
Not a good position there for Russ. Got caught underneath, rocked backwards, and Joe Young trying to come out. Russ rolling through on his back. He's still giving control to Leota with 56 seconds remaining.
No points awarded.
Now they're saying they're neutral.
1 point on the escape. Now Leota trails by 2, 5-3, 45 seconds remaining in this bout.
Russ trying to barrel roll there, but not from a very good position.
He's
going to give 2.
2 and 2. Gave up 2, got 2 back, still trails by 2. 7-5 your score. South River on top, 30 seconds remaining in the bout.
That was a tough 2 on the takedown for that Russ gave up there. That was no question from Ed Glessheim, so pretty decent call. Injury on the red, that's injury for South River. again, there's an advantage for Russ. He lost the blood, he lost the packing. You see Ed Glesheim going in there to get rid of it. Off the mat, they get a chance to take a look one more time. Phil Hostler taking a look at Russ. And we're not quite sure what Joe Young's injury is or what his problem is right there.
30 seconds, just under 30 seconds, actually. 27 seconds remaining in this bout. Young leads 7-5, and this is a crucial one.
This would be very important. If the Bears could get a win here, if they could come back and pick up a win here, you know, it puts them in better stead for the last couple of bouts. Because certainly if you look down the line, you've got Chad Powell at 189 for the Rams, but he's going against Larry Benson. They had a tussle in the finals of the GMC, so that's a good matchup there. Within a 215, Bill Pickett against Mike McManus. Pickett a few more matches there. An escape there for Young. Giving him the one.
Over. Put himself in a tough position.
And a takedown on top of it.
Looks like he's running out of time as we have under 10 seconds remaining.
There a reversal, but not enough.
5 seconds remaining, that'll do it. South River's gonna come away with the win. Joe Young in the decision, 10-7 over Russ Liotta in a very well fought and tight bout.
Back and forth matchup, no question there. 10-7, the victory for Joe Young. So the Young brothers both having a good night. You can see Bobby out there giving a hug to his brothers. They come in off the mat.
And that'll extend South River's lead 24-17. They'll open up the gap now once again, a 7-point gap. 24-17 your score. We head into the 171-pound category.
And we're going to see a little movement here again for the Bears. Josh Jabin moving up to 171 pounds. Jabin, the 11-8 senior.
Against what I'm going to assume right now, until we hear otherwise, is Peter Pelka, a 9-11 senior for South River.
We'll trust there's no change there. You're right. We'll go with Peter Pelka.
East Brunswick certainly in need of some team points now as they trail by 7 heading into these final bouts. We have just 3 bouts remaining after this.
Now, Charlie Powell is the GMC champ at heavyweight. You've got Chad Powell, his brother, the GMC champ at 189. Larry Benson may have it in his head that he wants to get back for the loss. He was leading towards the end of that match when he lost it in the finals. Jabin trying to work that front headlock and into the cradle, and they go out of bounds. Eddie Glesheim blowing the whistle, bring him back to the center.
108 remaining in this first period, 171 pounds, the weight category.
Josh joined a number of his teammates this afternoon, shaving their heads before this match. A little emotional charge for some of these kids. And then there were those who probably wanted to listen to mom and said, no, we're not going to shave. There's a warning against Pelka, backing up. Shoots in for the ankle. Sprawl back by Josh Jabin. Jabin leans in there and is able to pick up the takedown. Jabin going to try to tilt that through. No points except for Pelka. Didn't really have it locked up real well when he rolled him through there, tried to rock him in, and kind of almost expect that to happen. Drops in, switching from the double to the single. And a takedown. 2 more on the takedown. It'll extend East Brunswick lead 4-1. At this point, he's really just should ride him out. He's got about 8 seconds left in the period.
That's exactly what he's going to do. That'll wrap up the first period. Josh Jabin leads Peter Pelka 4-1 as we head into the second period. It's 171-pound weight category.
Choice goes over to Pelka, and the Ram 171-pounder chooses the defensive position.
Pelka to his feet. He'll get the escape.
Looks like Josh let him go. He didn't have good control when they came to their feet, and he might have figured he's gotten 2 takedowns already. Let's do that again.
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Nice high crotch in there. Lifts it. Didn't break him down there. Got to chop his arm. He's going to get 2 from Ed Glesheim.
2 on the takedown.
That's a little bit of a judgment call by an official. You know, you're supporting yourself on your hands, but in truth, the man's behind you. He's pretty much got you under control. You're supporting your weights on your hands, so the takedown awarded by the referee. 6'2" lead for Josh Jabin here at 171 pounds against Peter Pelka from South River.
1 minute remaining in the second period.
Pulls him through and puts him over. Pelka now has the combination. He's got the reversal. Jabin on his back with a lot of time.
He's fighting hard. 45 seconds remaining in the second period.
Pelka's got that arm extended. Jabin's going to have to bridge hard and work his arm through, his right arm through.
Pelka looking for the pin, Jabin on his back.
He's lifting up that far arm.
And he gets it. Pelka with the pin. The South River bench and fans are on their feet as they're going to open this match right up with 6 points. Pelka gets the pin over Jabin, and now South River leads 30-17 as we head into the upper weight categories. 189, and Bob, you alluded to this. Some of these upper weight categories are big ones for South River.
Yeah, they have some powerhouses coming through here. Jabin must have gotten really squeezed down there. Phil Hassel will have to take a look. Certainly nothing illegal when he went over, just probably very tight lockup. And might have just taken the wind out of him. You know, if you've never been down there, if you've never been underneath a kid who's squeezing you and really locking you up tight, you don't understand. I mean, people in the stands and they're trying to be supportive of their team, you know, squeeze them a little bit harder, you know, why can't you get out? There's a reason why you can't get out. You are really under a tremendous amount of pressure down there. Not only emotional pressure, but physical pressure. Hand raised for Peter Pelka and the win over Josh Jabin.
Pelka improves his record now to 10-11, while Jabin falls to 11-9.
It's moving around down there, so certainly nothing, you know, structural in the bones or anything like that, but still obviously hurting and maybe a little bit more than just out of breath.
It's only 3 bouts remaining. It's going to be tough now for East Brunswick to bounce back into this one. They trail by 13.
This is a tough one. You know, here's again a senior in his last time out here in the East Brunswick gym, and he had pretty good control of the situation.
One wrong move got him to his back, and that's where it ended.
And when you know, it's a very unforgiving sport if you let it happen. You know, you come up a little bit too high, you come outside too much, and you give a fellow a chance, give him the angle. He opens up some space between him and you, and can get that leverage and drive. And Phil Hassler is checking a lot of things here. He's pretty concerned. And this crowd has certainly gotten quiet out of concern for Josh.
Okay, Bob, while they're tending to Josh Liotta, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the 171-pound category in just a moment. And we're back here at East Brunswick High School after they've taken Josh Jabin off the mat and into the trainer's room. A couple of EMTs and trainers tending to him. They'll take him and back.
Unfortunately, Josh was able to make it up on his own and walk out on his own power, but certainly a great deal of concern. As you said, EMTs, one of them being Eric Bell's brother, older brother Sean, who was out there, and some of the police officers who were in attendance. I think they were almost on the verge of calling for the rescue squad to come in. They were very concerned. But able to make it off his own, but obviously in a lot of pain. He was holding the back of his neck, and we were just talking when we took that break, and maybe just his heart got racing a little bit and charged up, but we don't have a doctor's any kind of medical opinion on that. He did walk off under his own power, so that's always a good sign, and you hope for the best. But right now, we are not in good shape as far as the Bears are concerned. The Rams certainly in good situation, a 13-point lead for them as we go to the 189-pound match and a rematch of the GMC final at 189. Chad Powell, the junior from South River, against Larry Benson, the junior from East Brunswick.
Powell being the GMC champ with an 18-2 record. The runner-up being Larry Benson with a 9-5 record. It's East Brunswick versus South River. South River with the 30-17 team lead as we're at the 189-pound weight category.
These two fellows were seeded 1-2 in the county tournament, and it ended up that way in the finals and in the finish. Powell, the younger brother of heavyweight Charlie Powell. The final in the GMCs was a 9-6 decision in favor of Chad. He picked up 5 points very quickly at the end of that match, and we'll see if there can be a revenge factor here for Larry Benson. Powell in on the leg with a single. Benson trying to fight that, and not able to do so as the takedown goes for Charlie.
Powell will get the first two. 2-0 South River. 48 seconds remaining in this first period of the 189 weight category.
Larry Benson missed a couple of weeks of the season. He had some shoulder and rib injuries early on, but he also had a concussion in the Union match, which put him out of commission for a while. Came back against Edison and has racked up a couple of victories. He since then going into his #2 seed in the counties. Cross-body ride by the 189-pounder. You don't see too many big guys like that throw legs in that way. But these are pretty slim, well-built fellas out there, so it's a lot easier to get those legs in. Ken Burney was going to call a stalemate.
2-0 the lead for Chad Powell on a takedown. 19 seconds remaining in this first period. Powell for the Rams, Larry Benson for East Brunswick.
So far, Benson has not established too much yet. Powell getting that opening 2 points and able to ride so far, although right now he's coming out. He's got 7 seconds to see if he can get at least one in there. And I think he's going to at least pick up 1 point there. He does as the period comes to an end.
2-1 is the way the first period will end. East Brunswick's decision. Benson's going to defer. Powell will choose the down position or defense.
So the initial points countered by Larry Benson. He picks up 1, and he's going to be on top now in the second period.
East Brunswick in need of any team points they can get now, trailing by 13 with only 2 bouts remaining after this one, that being the 215 and the heavyweight.
If the Bears are going to win anything here, they're going to have to take everything, and they can't just take regular decisions. They're going to have to pick up majors or pins along the way, and that's going to be tough with the quality certainly at the heavyweight with Charlie Powell. This is developing as a very slow, methodical match, to the point that Ken Burnaby says it's too methodical, and warns Larry Benson for stalling, stops the match, and will restart them.
Benson on top, 1:29 remaining in the second period.
This is a very big match for the team match for South River. Certainly they like to win this one. It's a rivalry between these two schools, but South River also has the state sectionals coming up next Tuesday. They will be hosting it. The Central Jersey Group 1 championships. And that is a big match for them. They are the defending Central Jersey Group 1 champions, and they will have the opportunity to watch their opponents wrestle first. Larry Benson's got that bar in there. He's going to try to take that over if he can. So far, he's not doing very much with that. He's able to control it, but that's about all as they walk out of bounds. Boundbrook and Keyport will be coming up to South River next Tuesday night. Those of you who are in the area and want to pick up a pretty good matchup, see that in the first match, and then South River will wrestle the winner of those two later on in the same evening.
Benson still working on top, unable to garner any points in this second period. We still stand at 2-1 where we were at the end of the first period. South River's Chad Powell with the slim lead.
I think at this point, it almost looks like Lowry is trying to work something, maybe pick up a point, a couple points if he can on a turn, but kind of ride him out. He's got choice in the third period. And at that point, he may decide to take down, come out for a couple, or if he can, and pull it out at that point. But right now, he's got just 7 seconds to ride this period out, and nothing much is going to happen right here. Not much going on the mat, not much being said by us either. There wasn't much to say.
That'll end the second period. It'll now be Powell's decision. Powell almost looking like he has blood or something as he's looking at his hand. He's going to walk over to the side.
Not sure if it's blood or sweat or some kind of substance. He's not, something's out there.
It is blood. Okay. So he will go to the side and be 10-2. He trails 2-1 to Chad Powell as we head into the third and final period.
He will be 10-2 by, who's got the blood?
I think.
Or is it just that the blood is on Lowry and he's got to get it wiped off? There's some blood on the far side, and the student trainer is cleaning that up.
Well, regardless, they'll wrap it up real quickly. Bring it right back to the center, and as you properly foresaw, Benson will select the down position.
If that's the only thing I get judged on, I'm a genius. But Lowry coming out with a switch, trying to bring his hips out. He does not do it. Powell able to catch him. He's got that chin and the legs. Lowry able to fight through it.
He's going to give up 3 back points, and that'll extend South River's lead now 5-1. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining in this third and final period.
He stands. Powell able to keep control with that crotch hold. Throws the leg in, brings him down. Lowry rolls through it, and they go out of bounds.
Benson really in need of picking up some points quickly. 1:20 remaining. He trails 5-1.
At this point, if Larry Benson cannot pull this one out,
that'll do it.
It is a lost cause then, but there's still time. 1:21, only a 4-point deficit right now for Benson. And as we see so often, those points can be racked up pretty quickly. These are two good wrestlers.
Benson still in the down position, Powell on top.
Throws that crossbody, and Lowry trying to pop that leg out. Takes the ankle, tries to throw it past him. And that's probably going to go to a stalemate pretty soon. Still control for South River as Lowry's trying to scoot outside, and they go out of bounds at the 1 minute mark exactly.
Benson in need of points quickly. He trails 5-1, 1 minute remaining in this third period. The 189-pound category, South River leading the match 30-17.
As that potentially dangerous, throws the crossbody ride, and the wrestlers come up to their feet, and they'll stop that and start over. You go back and look at this match, and there were certainly several moments where there were turning points, you might say. Certainly the disqualification of Tommy Corio. He was down by a number of points, but he wasn't going to be giving up 6 at that point. The injury default by Rob McKinley, which gave South River the tie at the time, picking up 6 points. Got a reversal by Larry Benson.
He's got 30 seconds now. He's trailing 5-3 in need of some back points.
He's got to jump across and try to turn him at that point. But they're just going to say it's potentially dangerous. The arm was stretched back too far. Had he gone across to the side, he might have had a better ankle, and they might not have broken that. 23 seconds, a 2-point deficit for Benson. He's got to do some quick maneuvering right now.
Benson on top, trails by 2, now down to 15 seconds.
They're going to call a warning on the bottom against Chad Powell. 7 seconds. He's got to try to tilt real quick, and even at that, it's not going to be enough.
It's not going to happen. That'll do it. South River wins that one, and with that, They mathematically won the match. They'll extend their lead 33-17, a 16-point differential with only 2 bouts remaining, the 215-pound category and the heavyweights.
And at 2:15, that'll bring out Bill Pickett for the Rams and Mike McManus for the Bears.
Pickett, a senior with a 14-7 record. McManus, a junior, at 10-9.
Neither wrestler went very far in the GMCs. At least as far as the finals are concerned.
They'll go out and return to the center of the mat in the neutral position.
Well, the crowd has certainly quieted down. I mean, the decision is there as far as the result of this match. It's not going to come down to heavyweight and a great crowd-pleasing finish.
No, I think ever since the injuries, the crowd really has quieted down and been out of this match.
Yeah, and there have been a couple. I mean, certainly the one that Josh Jabin took the wind out of everybody's sails. He was certainly banged up. And going off on his own power certainly was a positive, and they were happy to see that. But it certainly just slowed things down as far as the momentum and the energy, because people, when you see something, you're seeing a kid out there. He's only 17 or 18 years old, and you might say he's a young man. He's a kid, and his mom and dad coming out of the stands certainly very concerned when you don't see your son getting up. I was talking with Tommy Noto's dad at the GMCs. He and I went to high school together, and we got together finally. We've seen each other more in the last 2 years than we have in the previous 20 out of high school. And he was commenting that Ed Schicky, the head coach from South River, had said, you can watch wrestlers, put them out on the mat, match after match after match. It doesn't mean anything. But when your own kid's out there and suddenly you see something happen, it's a whole different ballgame.
Green with the warning for stalling, that going against McManus.
Pickett trying to get that front, that Russian, and just lean right in on it. And he's going to have the
two
takedown.
on the takedown. The first points of this bout. 20 seconds remaining in the first period.
Manus coming out, trying to stand and face him, and they're going to maintain control as they go out of bounds.
16 seconds now remaining. 2 points on that takedown. That's the only scoring we've had at this 215-pound category.
Well, the Rams will maintain their dominance in Middlesex County, picking up their 17th win tonight. But the Bears, despite the loss and even looking at the score, had some very good matches. And it really was a back-and-forth match, and it still was up for grabs as they went into that 171-pound match when the pin was scored by Peter Pelka.
Pickett with a decision. He'll defer to East Brunswick. Brunswick's McManus chooses the neutral position. 2-0 your score as we head into the second period. Those 2 points awarded to Pickett on a takedown.
It's always interesting to see if a kid who was taken down and then he chooses the neutral position in the next period. And you just have to figure something, either he felt he got caught or he has something else in there. Same move, this time in that same move by Bill Pickett. With the Russian and a bear hug by McManus, countering it.
Still neutral. They'll return to the center of the mat. 1:37 remaining in the second period.
Pickett wanting to end it right there. These guys getting into that same position again. And they're going to fight each other. This is going to be a death match here. Might have put the cage up around this one, I think.
A lot of upper body wrestling.
Yeah. Goes in for that single, drops in, does Mike McManus. Unable to finish it, though. Sprawls by Pickett. They're on the edge. Pickett able to turn him inside, so he's in a better position right now if he can kind of bring him back. And Ed Glesheim taking a good look at it, see if he might want to call the stalemate, but simply will call them out of bounds as they do break loose with just 50 seconds remaining in the second period. And a 2-0 lead for Bill Pickett of the Rams.
Just the one takedown for Pickett, no other points so far.
Try for that headlock, did Pickett, and it tried to counter from McManus. It did not work. They bounced off each other, and Pickett comes up on top for the takedown.
2 more, and that'll extend his lead now 4-0, under 30 seconds remaining in the second period.
McManus coming out to face him, and not giving him a neutral. Glenn Pazinko, I might have given him the 1, but Glenn Pazinko certainly not happy with that either. He thought he'd come out for the 1. But at Gus, I'm saying no, he's still wrapped up, controlling around the body. I'm going to have to become an official again because I'm becoming too hard on these guys. I'm more critical than I probably should be. Oh, there's the 1 from McManus. And the takedown right to the back with the head and arm.
He's got 12 seconds to work it. You got it. With 6 seconds remaining in the second period, Pickett will get the pin over McManus and extend the Rams lead now 39-17 as we head into the heavyweight.
Mike McManus certainly not happy that he I mean, no wrestler was happy, but he was upset. I think he felt he had a chance in there, and he was fighting him pretty well on their feet. A 354 pin for Bill Pickett, simply solidifying the lead for the Rams. And it brings us to the heavyweight matchup. Co-captain Charlie Powell for the Rams at 19-1 against Tom Crale for the Bears.
Powell, the GMC champ, another one we've seen now, 6-4 South River tonight.
It really is. It's an impressive team that they've put together. Ed Schicky and his staff have done a nice job. And again, it goes back to the kids who have come up through the rec programs and through the preparation. There's that Russian, the upper body throw. Tom Crale hanging on as best he can. Bill Pickett laying down on it. He's not even, it's a matter of just locking it up a little bit tighter. And that's it.
That'll do it. Another pin, and that'll be the match. Landed 45-17. South River with the win over East Brunswick, and specifically Charlie Powell, the GMC champ, with the pin over Tom Crale.
Well, beginning on the 152-pound weight class, the Bears never scored another point in the match. They picked up their points from at 152 from Eric Bellis, a major decision there, which got them to 17, and that was the last points they scored, as Joe Young, Peter Pelka, Chad Powell, Bill Pickett, and Charlie Powell reeled off the rest of the night for the Rams. They got falls at 171, at 215, and at heavyweight, and that pretty much wrapped it up. A 45-17 victory for South River. Their 17th win against just 1 loss, and for East Brunswick, wrapping up at 6-5.
The Valentine's Eve bout or match that brought out a heck of a crowd for East Brunswick and South River here at East Brunswick. The Bears fall to South River by a final score of 45-17. South River improves to 17-1. East Brunswick falls to 6-5. For my partner, Bob Cancro, I'm Scott White saying goodnight and thanks for joining us.